Disappointed doesn't even begin to describe how I feel about this one-sided, partisan school aid budget. We had a significant opportunity to work together on this, as we have on past education budgets. We basically agreed with each other on issues like increasing per pupil funding, funding all students equally, paying down long-term debt, and putting more money directly in the classroom. A lot of the past bipartisan education budgets have done that. Those are all ideas that can put students first and protect the promises to teachers and retirees. And the only thing you needed to compromise on, the only place where you needed to just give a little, was finding ways not to raid the $670 million a year from the teacher pension fund that was required to go to keep our promises to the retirees. Paying down the debt, not raiding that money, was a fiscally responsible thing to do. You refused to do it. 14 years ago, when we began the process of paying down long-term liability here in the state, there was over $70 billion of long-term unfunded liability here in Michigan. Today, there's $35 billion. $30 billion still in the MIPSers and the teacher pension program. We're halfway there. It's been 14 years. Let's finish it off. We could have found the money that you found in the teacher pension fund elsewhere. I know you've seen our proposals. You've seen proposals from school groups and even from our colleagues in the House. Heck, many of us here would have rather spent all that SOAR money on our students, classrooms, and teachers instead of shelling it out to big multinational corporations. But no, couldn't tell the governor no. Not only would you have had to vote to give this budget immediate effect, you would have had strong bipartisan support for the budget. The last thing anyone wants to do is turn funding the education of our students into a political football. But you couldn't tell the governor no. And now, for the first time in over a decade, there will be no per pupil increase for our students. At a time when our student outcome continues to plummet, recent study earlier this year says with the COVID shutdowns, our students are a half a grade level behind. This majority decided to give the foundational allowance a 0.0% increase. Education groups are warning us that if passed, this budget will lead to layoffs of school employees. Think about that. 1 year after inheriting a $9 billion surplus, this trifecta is poised to pass a school budget with no foundation increase that will lead to teacher layoffs. Disaster is the only way to describe what is happening here. So as our governor continues to hop around on her book tour, we're standing here at 4:50 a.m. in the morning, voting on the worst school aid budget to come through this chamber since many of us started serving our constituents here in Lansing.